this fog is crazy.
Oh, morning everyone. I am Thomas from MHR Off-Road, and welcome to day 4 of our Georgia Traverse adventure. It is a beautiful morning here at Cooper's Creek, WMA. The only thing I can think to make it better would be some coffee. Coffee. Thank you. Oh, that's good. So, like I said, we just had a wonderful night here at Cooper's Creek. Our goal for today is to get to the beginning of the Big Frog Loop. So this is part 2 of our Georgia Traverse adventure. Please go check out part 1 that we're going to list in the description. That would really help us out. We appreciate it. So we had a wonderful night. The only issue that I had was we had a visitor in my Bronco last night. If you check out our previous video, I believe we have our mouse that was affectionately named Lucky. And I may have found his mom in my Bronco. We'll give you a shot of what I believe his mom did on the inside. However, with that being said, we're going to get packed up here. It looks like it might rain on us, so we're going to be safe and try to avoid it. We're going to pack up, get going, and hit the trails, and we'll see you guys out there.
Thomas went to leave. We went to leave camp this morning, and when Thomas turned his blower motor on, a mouse fell out of his blower motor, and now he's trying to get it out. He's determined. What do you think of the mouse?
What mouse?
The mouse in Thomas's Bronco.
I have no idea.
He's determined to get that mouse. So we just entered Big Frog Loop. We are traveling east to west and going into the Big Frog Loop, the northern part of the Big Frog Loop. There's a bridge out, so there's a section of it that's closed. So instead of driving all the way up to it and then backtracking all the way back around, we're just taking the southern portion, which kind of sucks. We were going to dedicate a whole day to doing the Big Frog Loop entirely, but it is what it is. We'll just have to come back. So right now we are on the southern part of the Big Frog Loop. We're gonna try to find a nice camp spot and get set up for the evening. Hopefully we can find another creek or river. We've been 3 for 3 right now, so it'd be nice to get one more. So let's keep going. We are at some campground we found. The camp spots are actually over there. This is for the horses, but there's somebody over there, so we felt like we don't mind over here. Bentley's gonna practice some baseball.
Yeah, boy.
There's a creek right over there that he's approved of. Thomas is gonna set up right here. We're gonna set up right there. It's not the prettiest spot. We've had prettier, but it's very convenient.
I'm playing in the river.
He's gonna play in the river. So you're gonna get the Cherokee set up. He's gonna get the Bronco set up. We're gonna relax for a little bit and then talk about, I think tonight is tacos.
And I'm helping set up the tent.
Bentley's gonna help set up the tent. So here we go. Tacos. That's what we eat every time.
It's hard to beat.
At least I got some points.
Bentley swam in the river, played baseball, got dressed, and now we're waiting on the beef. Gonna eat some tacos, gonna watch some TVs, and then we're going to bed. We have some neighbors way over there, but doesn't seem too bad of a spot.
Nope, it's been good so far. We had a good day, covered a lot of miles. We're gonna have some tacos and chit chat a little bit and go to bed early, get up and hit it hard the next day. Yeah.
All right, so packed up, I'm packed up, Thomas is packed up. We're gonna finish Big Frog Loop this morning, get to Dalton, and then head out is the plan.
I found this worm.
Yeah, found a lot of bugs on this trip, huh?
Yeah, I like buggies.
Well, what'd you think of the trip? Huh?
It was great! The wormy.
Jeez, another one? How many is that?
Wormy.
You got Wormy, you got, what was the snail's name?
Larry.
Larry?
2 Larrys. So that's
Yeah,
3.
two Larrys.
Come on, get on.
What else?
The caterpillar. It was on the road. He found 2 of those
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
at the place with my parents.
I found 3 of those.
Let's see. You got Lucky. I think Lucky's probably a big catch. You know?
How was?
I'm
What'd
the
you
real
think of
life Pokemon master.
Well, first I feel honored to be in the presence of a Pokemon master, so that's pretty cool. Second, I really enjoyed the trip, the longest one by far. Highly recommend the Georgia Traverse. We've got some cool campgrounds. We got I think a couple nights that weren't technically campgrounds. We'll have to look at the videos, but really enjoyed it. I'd like to stay out here another day, but I guess we gotta go back home. That's okay. It was a good trip.
All right, so we're gonna get back in the vehicles, finish the Big Frog Loop, and then head towards Dalton. So see you out there. So the trip wasn't too bad, right, so far. I mean, it's been, what, it was 5 days and 4 nights, right?
Yeah, 5 days, 4 nights. That's definitely the longest trip so far. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, so the first night, my parents were with us. We stayed at Burles Ford Campground. And then the second night, my parents were still with us. We stayed at Tate's Campground, right?
Yeah, and so the third night, we ended up staying at Cooper's Creek. I think it was a WMA. And then, yeah, last night was pretty nice too at Jack Rivers Campground. Was that it?
I think that's close enough for the sake of this. So out of all the ones, which campground do you think was your favorite?
I'm torn between Cooper's Creek. It was really nice. It was kind of secluded. No one else around really. We had some neighbors in the distance. And then last night was actually pretty nice too at Jack Rivers Campground, whatever it's called. That one was nice. I think I gotta go with last night.
Wow, I wouldn't have thought that, because like I said, that one wasn't the most scenic, but it was like just nice with the amenities, and then having you know, having the field and the creek, and you know, it was just kind of ended up being nice.
Yeah, I agree. That small creek in the back was nice. Plenty of room to throw the baseball around like we did for a little bit. I enjoyed it. Now, if you had to pick a favorite campground, what was your favorite?
I think my favorite would be Tate's campground. I really liked how we were like just on the edge of the river like that, and then, you know, Bentley enjoyed it obviously a lot. I know like campgrounds aren't normally our thing, but I've been pretty pleased with the ones we found on this trip.
Yeah, I don't think we struck out any. We've definitely had a few trips, and I'm sure other people have too, of where you just really trying to find a good camp spot and you just gotta settle for whatever's on the side of the road. So I feel like we really knocked it out of the park this time. I do have a question for your passenger though. What was Bentley's favorite camp spot?
I like it last night because I got to play in the river and play baseball.
Yeah, I agree. I think last night was pretty awesome too, Bentley. Good choice.
So on the Georgia Traverse, out of all the trails and miles we've put down, what do you think your favorite part is?
My favorite part would probably be the trail the second morning after a river crossing. I think it was called Charlie's Creek Road or Charlie's Creek Trail. That one was a lot of fun. It has some challenges to it. You have to learn to full drive a few times, but nothing to where you thought you might, you know, you might either get stuck or, well, I guess you could have got stuck, but yeah, I really enjoyed that one. If you guys ever go check out the trail or the Georgia Traverse, check out Charlie's Creek Road. It's got some good challenges.
Yeah, I agree. I think so far, like, you know, I really love river crossings, and obviously I think the first day we had a few river crossings, and then obviously the Charlie's Creek portion of the trail was pretty memorable.
Now, if you had to pick, so piggybacking off of our favorite trails and campsites, what would be a trail or road that you definitely don't recommend people going to unless they just really want to?
So I think it's a Duncan Ridge Road. I mean, the road itself, I guess the area wasn't bad, but it was just so rocky and gravelly, and we could not like maintain any type of speed, and because of that, it took us like almost 2 hours to complete that section of 8 miles, and it was just long and dragged out. We didn't record anything on that road because it was just so horrible.
Yeah, I definitely agree. That road really wasn't that fun. It kind of tricks you because in the beginning, it's actually not that bad, but as soon as you get past a certain point, not even the halfway mark, it's awful. Way too rocky to enjoy anything. You've got to crawl. You don't want to rattle any feelings that you have out in your teeth. And same thing. That was my least favorite road.
So there were a good bit of portions that we had to skip, you know, due to either road closures or issues going on in the area. We had to skip the War Woman WMA section because it was in part of the forest that is affected by the wildfires that have been going on. So unfortunately, we had to skip like a good, decent portion around Clayton, Georgia, and then we also had to skip Trey Mountain. I mean, we've been to Trey Mountain before, but because Chimney Mountain Road is closed coming east to west, you can't get up the mountain, and there's no point backtracking, and we've done so many trips there that we just skipped that altogether.
Yeah, that's true. And also, just a heads up for anyone thinking about coming up this way, there is still a fire ban right now, so definitely you know, abide by what the Forestry Service is saying. Pretty much every campsite we went to in this area had little red flags that said no, you know, no campfires due to wildfires. So you know, having a campfire is almost an essential at a camp, but you know, you make it work.
Yeah, which was very unfortunate because this was probably the trip that we were most prepared and abundantly packed of firewood.
Yeah, that's true. I think I had 2 big packs of it in my trasharoo, and if I'm not mistaken, yours was basically packed to the brim with firewood, right?
Yes, and my parents also brought like 2 or 3 bundles, and the plan was to burn theirs the first 2 days, and then we would survive off ours the remainder days.
Yeah, that's true, but it'll be all right. The firewood, it won't go bad.
All right, so what we did for meals on this trip, right? We just stopped in town our first night, just because it was convenient. We were getting in pretty late. We didn't have breakfast that morning. You know, we just did old Pop-Tarts and Cliff Bars. The second day, we just ate sandwiches on the trail for lunch, and then we did steaks for dinner. And then that following morning, we did breakfast burritos, one of our classics. And then we had a lot of leftovers from that because we over-prepared. Then that night, we had hamburgers that night, that night following that. Then the following morning, we kind of rushed because we thought it was going to rain, so we just did like a quick breakfast and got out of there. And then last night, we did tacos, and then followed up this morning with sausage patties and then the leftover sausage burritos.
Yeah, so we definitely had some good meals this trip. Don't forget that we did stop in town at a pizza place in Blue Ridge. What was the name of it?
That's right, it was Majestic Mountain Pizza in Blue Ridge.
A shout out to them for letting me do a little bit of schoolwork, because I'm silly and didn't quite finish all the homework I needed to. So they actually, after we ate, they allowed me to stay in the pizza shop there and do a little bit of homework. So we really appreciate you guys for that. With that being said, of all the meals that we just listed, if you had to pick one as your favorite or standout, what would you pick?
I probably would do tacos just because I absolutely love those tacos. I love killing them. I try to eat as much as I can. I love the tacos.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of tacos and breakfast burritos combo, but I will actually say that I really enjoyed that steak that your dad cooked us the second night. So I appreciate that. I've been wanting to do a steak out and about for a long time, and that definitely satisfied it. I think we're gonna have to add that to our repertoire. Now, if your passenger Bentley had to pick a favorite meal, what would it be?
I love the steak.
I was wondering if you were gonna pick the steak. If I remember correctly, you tore it up. You knocked that steak out of the park, huh?
Yeah, he ended up eating the whole steak that I got for myself, me cutting it up for him. He ate the whole thing.
Good for you, Bentley.
So I know that you do a lot of work and a lot of people will rely on you, but it always impresses me when you and I take these really old vehicles on these long trips. I mean, we're pushing 400 or 500 miles so far to accomplish this, and for the majority of it, we've had like really no issues. I unfortunately have what I believe and hope to be a flywheel crack that has a small knock that's coming from the transmission bell housing. When I get home, I'll have to look at it. But have you ran into any real issues with the Bronco?
Well, mechanical wise, not really. I've been really impressed. You know, this thing is 36 years old. A lot of stuff's still original, but of course I have done a lot of work to it. The only mechanical issue I can think of is more of a comfort. It's the blower motor. I think it's finally kind of dying on me, which it is a newer blower motor, but it's a few years old now, so it's natural for it to start to fail. And aftermarket parts will do that. My biggest, I guess, issue or complaint that I ran into was waking up a couple of mornings and finding that the insulation that I've installed has been kind of scattered out throughout my floorboard. And then I even had a pack of crackers that was in my glove box was eaten out of, and that ended up being a mouse. Recently I moved out into more of a country setting, and I'm guessing that I brought a mouse with me. And if you watch the first part of our video, you'll see that we actually found a baby mouse in the area that I was trying to park at on our, I believe that was the second night, and we just assumed that it was a baby mouse out, you know, out in the woods. Well, now I've actually, last night at our last campground, I found the mouse that was inside my vehicle with a mouse trap, and we did end up bringing her out into the woods and setting her free in the woods. So our theory is that maybe the baby mouse came from the mama mouse that I caught last night, and they traveled all the way from central Georgia up to South Carolina and to North Georgia with us.
So I think we're gonna head into Dalton, and that'll be the end of our trip. Thanks for watching part 2. It's probably a little shorter than part 1, but hopefully we still got some good shots and some great footage.
Yeah, I agree. It was a fantastic trip. This is our longest trip so far, and I really can't wait to go on another one. Everyone, thanks for tuning in. Please continue to, you know, like and subscribe. It really helps us. We're a very small YouTube channel. We're just doing the best we can. We appreciate every viewer, and we can't wait to see you guys back out on the trail with us.
Bye!